So I stopped that spiritual authority. I was saying that and the Bible says, don't let me just try to quote what the Bible says. Let's open it, right? Chapter 13. Romans 13, from verse 1 to 7. I'll just rush it. Read through. Let every soul be subject unto higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisted the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Will thou then be not afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. Be subject to power, to authority. And part of authority guiding a place is the rule of that place. So I would make example of RCFUI, Redeemed Christian Fellowship, University of Ibadan. So while I was in school, I don't know about now what has changed, but while I was in school, we are not allowed to put on trousers. We are not allowed to wear a colored attachment. So if we are doing adding any attachment, it must be color black or textile. I don't really know much about these things. So it will be wrong of you to choose your fellowship to be RCFUI and intentionally bring colored attachment as a worker, or intentionally be chose out to service as a worker. It will be wrong. Not just to avoid punishments that will be given if you do that. Beyond the punishment, beyond whatever, for the sake of conscience, the Bible says it. Obey the authority of that place. Another example is family house, NCCA family house where I stay. And this one says the rule for the houses, there's a general rule that guides NCCA all across Nigeria, but there are rules that are peculiar to the states where you are. So in family house Bauchi, we are not allowed to wear trousers in the house. We are not allowed to eat outside of our room. We are not allowed to when you go for service, you must cover your hair. All these things is not because they are sin to God. What makes them wrong is you doing it despite knowing the rule of the house. Do you understand? You will not do them because you obey the authority of where you are serving. You submit to the authority of the place. Now, if you feel like this rule is too hard for you to abide by, leave. I always tell my siblings, my younger ones, that see, when I have the right to choose the church I will attend, I will choose a church whose rules and regulation I can abide by, and that is after checking the spiritual benefit I'll get from the church. I will consider what God wants to do with me in that season and where I can get the right nutrients, spiritual nutrients from. And after considering that, I check the do's and don'ts of this denomination, not just the denomination of the branch, the do's and don'ts of the pastor that is presiding over that church, so that I will not go there and be a rebel. Sorry. And you get, so you submit to spiritual authority. So if you are in winners and winner says, okay, don't wear black and white to church. If you know you cannot abide by the rule, go to another church where you can get, what's it called now? Where you can be fed spiritually, well fed spiritually, where you can grow spiritually, and you can still find it comfortable and easy to abide by the rule of that church. But if you know that in CAC, you love their prayer, you love their prayer life, you cannot get this kind of prayer energy from another denomination, be ready to sacrifice all that they ask you to sacrifice to be an acceptable member in that denomination. And that denomination also should not, because of the rules and regulations, chase their members away. There should be a balance. Everybody should work in love. I feel like if we make love our priority, there are some dramas that we will be avoiding. You will not chase or make a first timer in your church uncomfortable because of the rules and regulations of your church. For crying out loud, that person is a first timer. Allow the person enjoy the service. That person you enjoy it for that day will not stop God from moving in your service. Please, So we subject ourselves to higher authority. I've said that. Now, what should be our focus? This is the last thing. What should be our main focus as Christians? Romans chapter 12. I think it's the whole of chapter 12. I will not be able to read all through. I think I should first read 13, chapter 13 from verse 8 to 14. Oh no man anything, not your judgment, not your doctrine, not your perception, not your preference. Don't hold them your preference. What you should hold them is, but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. If you walk in love, you have fulfilled the law. When you do things out of love, when you allow love to guide you, the way you judge others, the way you backbite. Funny enough, these people that judge other people, you will find them like deeply rooted in other things that are actually seen according to the law of God. You find them backbiting, gossiping, this, that. But to them they are righteous just because they are not wearing something, because they are wearing it. It is in that love that fulfills the law. Yeah. So let's continue because I'm supposed to stop at verse 14, right? For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet, and if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. If you love somebody, you will not talk them down.